Woohoo! Yes! Oh man, hey, listen, I'm Daniel Andrews. I'm owner and creator of Andrews Football, and hey, this is my live stream every Tuesday, every Friday, 7 p.m. I break down the NFL. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. This show, I have got a fantastic show for you. We're going to talk a lot of Chiefs. We are going to talk a lot of Chiefs, and we're going to talk what happened in the NFL. But this week I have a special, and you know what? I'm looking at something here. I got this wrong. This is not it. This is not it, man. I downloaded the wrong thing. Here, hold on. Here, I knew there was something. I knew there was something I got wrong. And hold on here. Let me see that. That's okay. I see what I did here. I see what I did. Messing up already. Not a good start. Not a good start. But that's okay. That's okay. Just gotta find what I did here, and bear with me here. I made an early mistake. All right, I made an early mistake. So I'm a little embarrassed about that. And I gotta find out what I did here, man. This is a little embarrassing. This is a little embarrassing because I went ahead and had a picture ready for you guys, and I have no idea what I did. I had no idea what I did. So I kind of dropped the ball here, and let's let's see here. We'll do it real fast here. I got everything ready to go. I could have sworn this is it. I see what I did. All right, man. Dropping the ball, but that's okay. That's okay. I have a special for you here, and hopefully I got it right this time here. And I admit I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball. All right. There it is. Delete this. All right. All right. Now I'm on the ball. Now I'm on the ball. Because all right. Let's start off the show talking. I just got done watching ESPN, the college football playoff system. What they do is every week they break down their top 25, and of course they do. It's not called the Final Four, but essentially it's the Final Four. For some reason, they have the first three I can't argue with. LSU's number one, Ohio State's number two, Clemson's number three. Number four is Georgia, and number five is Alabama. And I am shocked by this. The eyeball test alone will tell you Alabama's a better team. Great game. You could have potentially 12 first-round players in that LSU-Bama game. And you could have Tua and Joe Morrow go 1 and 2 in the upcoming draft. I actually do think you'll have that, and maybe Tua's one. It just depends on who you like better. But Minnesota is also undefeated. It's 8th. I would have them ahead of the Pac-12 schools. Oregon 6, Utah's at 7. I would put Minnesota at 6 if that was me. Baylor's also undefeated. It's 13, but I mean, I get it. In my personal opinion, you should not have a college football poll until week 8. Nothing. You should not have any polls available at all. You should start week 8 and then just go from then on, because there's always a team that starts off good, ended up not being that good. I think Syracuse is ranked, and they're like 3 and 6. Why? So, and keep in mind, we don't talk a lot of college here, but I did think this was interesting, so I thought I'd just say it out here. If you watch my video, I gave you 5 games. I only went 2-2-1. However, let's do this. Let's bring out the worst first. Cincinnati, I thought would cover. They did not. Baltimore destroyed them. They beat them by 800 points. Carolina, Not a bad loss. I don't feel bad about that. Also, by the way, hey, listen, if you're watching, I don't have YouTube up, but go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I deserve it. I'm awesome. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. My channel scientifically proven to make all your wildest dreams come true. So Carolina didn't cover 5. Interesting. Buffalo's a push. You had 3 points. You needed it. But Pittsburgh and Seattle underdogs, and I pressed because I thought Seattle would win, and I also pressed Pittsburgh. I said both these teams would win, so you could take the money line. I actually have a treat for you. I was really hoping that my boy Jimmy Stone for, hey, listen, if you come in and leave a comment, because I got a surprise for you. I'm going to post this up now. This is what I was trying to do. I should have had this ready to go. Thursday night, I love this. I'm getting this from Westgate Casino. I had to crop it because I didn't want to give out my account information. But if you take a look here, the Steelers are a 3-point dog at Cleveland. The money line's 135. I strongly, strongly urge you to take the money line because I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game. Okay, Pittsburgh has been playing very well. Cleveland's very erratic, but lucky for them, they won because you're getting this line because they did win. If they lose, Pittsburgh's favored, and this line, I am shocked that this is the way it is. I am shocked. You have a young team. It's kind of funny because the quarterback matchup is the last time these two guys played against each other. Mayfield and Rudolph is what I call the Mayfield Heisman game. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma played where Baker Mayfield. I don't have the exact numbers, and I'm not exaggerating. It was like 550 and 8 touchdowns, and Mason Rudolph only had like 420 and 7. It was a typical, Big 12 game between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It was like 62 to 58, and of course Oklahoma won with a touchdown late, and that's how Baker iced the Heisman. He may have won without it, but that was the game that got him Heisman. Well, these two teams are going to play against each other. I was actually more impressed with Rudolph because except for James Washington, who I think won the Biletnikoff Award that year, they really didn't have near the talent Oklahoma had. I mean, Oklahoma, you had Hollywood Brown who went in the first round, Mark Andrews who went in the third, Cody Ford, offensive lineman, he went second, running back, I want to say not Rodney Harrison, that's a Charger safety. Drawing a blank on his name. He ended up going in the 6th round only because he had some injury issues. But there was so much more talent on that Oklahoma team. So I actually liked Rudolph a lot more going into the draft. That was just my opinion. That was just me. I was a vast minority, but I will say this. I really like what Baker Mayfield's done in the NFL so far. I didn't think he was going to be good at all. He has a lot of arm talent, but he seems to have some maturity issues. I'm not sure that the coaching situation in Cleveland as a whole organization is not really good for him because this is a guy who's got some talent, and I think he would just be better suited in a different situation, but he does have lots of talent surrounding him. Keep in mind David Njoku, their tight end, he may be coming back. This guy is amazing. If you don't know the story behind him, he was a wide receiver, went down to the University of Miami. He was a high jumping champion. He's an ACC high jumping champion. Went down to the University of Miami, put on like about 30 pounds. They moved him to tight end. 6'4", 240, can high jump. I think it was like 6'1" and a half. It's like he holds. I think it's the 6th highest high jump in ACC history. David Njoku has all the talent in the world. He entered the draft as a redshirt sophomore, even though he was just learning the tight end position. Really talented guy. Really talented guy. So if he comes back, he's got all talent in the world. But I like Pittsburgh to win that game. So you're in for a treat. I'll go ahead and I'll post this up later in the live stream. But I was actually, before I came on, I was actually looking. Golden Rooster, what is up, brother? Hey, have you been listening? Have you been listening? Because I showed this earlier here. I absolutely love this. I got this from Westgate. I absolutely love the Steelers in 3 points. They're a 3-point dog. So the money line is plus 135. This is what you want to go ahead and put some action down on. And don't worry if you missed it. I'll show it up. I'll show it later. So, man, hey, I'm glad you got here. So, listen, I was halfway tempted right before I got on here. I live in Overland Park, Kansas. I was doing some research. I'm like 2 minutes from I-35. There's a casino in Iowa just right off I-35. It's about 2.5 hours away. They do sports betting. I'm halfway tempted. I got a few things I got to do tomorrow afternoon, and it says it's open till like 11, but I'm not going to leave and try to get there at like 10:30 at night. I'm not going to try and do that. I got some things to do tomorrow afternoon, but can I make a round trip? I don't like betting online. I don't like doing it. That's just me. But am I willing to do? And I've been toying around with the idea of doing this. I love Steelers in 3 points. I'm going to do a video later on talking about my game of the week, which the Steelers is my game of the week. So the whole point of talking about gambling here is that I want to prove that I can make money betting on football. That's how I can show that I'm an expert. All right, that's how I show I'm an expert. Because, man, there are some idiots out there. There are some idiots out there, and I'm going to share this with you. This is one of the dumb things that was on Facebook. All right, time for Reed to go. Brilliant offensive coach, but he lacks the balls to get this team. 144 Billa. Notice he misspelled Belichick. I mean, come on. All right, you have Mahomes. Finish what? Finish what, dummy? All right. I was all sorts of things. Oh God. It hurts my brain to listen to these stupid Chiefs fans. I'm really Chiefs Kingdom. Get smarter. Get smarter, because there are some really dumb Chiefs fans. Yeah, gambling. Hey, Golden Rooster, you're right. If you can consistently pick winners, then you got something that most people can't do. I can do it. No, you're right. You're right, Tim. Oh man, I listen. That wasn't a good. I liked the Falcons in 13.5. The only thing I didn't like is that I didn't know. I didn't know if Matt Ryan was going to play. He was banged up. He wasn't going to play, so I wasn't 100% sure. Now, the thing is, though, they were like 13.5-point dogs. To take the Falcons in 13.5, that's smart. If you recall the game I lost, I took Cincinnati in 10.5 because division games are usually pretty close. And in games like this happen. Falcons-Saints rivalry is one of the most underrated rivalries in all of sports. And so I think a lot of people really don't realize what a great rivalry that is between these two games. I like the Saints, but they had a bad game. I don't know if that's indicative of them or not, but if I'm a Saints fan, I'm not really flipping out. I'm like, okay, we got a loss, but we're still in good shape. Can we get the bye? That's the key with the Saints. Can we get the bye? Falcons, they're still going to clean house. The question is, do they get rid of Dimitroff or not? That's the big question. And because if they get rid of Dimitroff, they can blow up that whole team. That's the thing. But if they don't, then I could see them trying to just patch some things up. There's not a lot wrong with the Falcons, believe it or not. There's really not a lot wrong with the Falcons. The Falcons are a team that if they get a few players in free agency, they get some help in the draft, they can really turn things around and be a playoff team next year, or do you just blow up the team? So anyway, hold on here. I got some stuff here. Hey man, I get you. I don't go into a casino unless I got $500. So McGrath, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Um, welcome back here. I got a lot of comments I'm going to get to. Hey man, and by the way, oh man, so here I'm going to get back here to my boy Tim. Yes. Okay, now let me here's the way this works, Tim, and I know you know this. I'm going to break this down just in case somebody watching doesn't get this. The way it works in the NFL is that you have the number one team, your 6 playoff teams, okay? The 4 division winners, and then you got 2 wild card teams. Right now, the way it works, Kansas City would be the 4 seed, the 4th team. So they would play the wild card team with the best record, which right now is the Buffalo Bills. I would love this because the Bills aren't a good team. All right. The Bills are not a good team, but they're going to get that playoff spot. I think they're going to be about 10-6, maybe 11-5. But they are not a good team. All right. I feel really good about this. Now, let's say Kansas City goes 11-5. And the reason why I say that is because this is my bet slip when I went to Vegas, and I got over 10.5. I got the Chiefs over 10.5. So let's say 11-5. Let's say the Chiefs are 11-5. And if they're 11-5, they're going to play 11-5 Bills team. It's going to be at Arrowhead. I would say the line would be at 6, and it would jump up to 6.5 because people are going to bet on Kansas City. And I actually think the better bet would probably be the over because it would probably be like 46.5. So that's what I see happening. So if both these teams are 11-5, if that's 11-5, I would have the Chiefs as a 6-point favorite at Arrowhead, and I think it would go up to 6.5. You're right. They're going to make a lot of changes. I don't know if they're going to stick with that defense, but you're 100% correct. Packers at 8-2. I picked against you. I had Carolina covering 5. They didn't, so they look good. Yeah, your Lions fan is not here. I love the trash talk, man. Excuse me. Trash talking is allowed. You can trash talk me. You trash talk my Chiefs. Gloat that you beat us. You're more than welcome to do that. They should have fired. Here's the deal. The Falcons have a really, really, really good organization. They're going to fire Quinn after the season, and I'll be really interested to see if they. I already said it, but the big question is, do they fire Dimitroff? Because if they don't, they could regroup and be back in the playoffs. If so, and they clean house, who knows what they'll do. The Bills are going to be about 10-11 win team. They are going to the playoffs. The defense is good. Their best. They got this middle linebacker. I don't know if you've watched, but they got this middle linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds. It looks like a Madden cheat code because he's. I know at the combine he was 6'4", 255, ran a 4.55, but he looks like a defensive lineman, and you look like a defensive lineman. And he can run like a wide receiver. It's freaky, and he's only 21 years old. He's only 21. And I mean, the Bills got some really good pieces in play. But overall, no, they're not that good of a team. And I follow lots of Bills people on social media. It's kind of cool when they lose because they're delusional. They think they got a Super Bowl team. This one girl who I absolutely love her name's Danielle. She said that they would not trade Josh Allen for anybody. And I said, Patrick Mahomes. She's like, no, we really like Josh Allen. We wouldn't trade him for Mahomes. Bullshit. I want to tell you something. Kansas City Chiefs call Buffalo and say, we'll give you Mahomes and you give us Josh Allen and 3 first-round draft picks. They are doing it without thinking. So, yeah. Josh Gordon did play, and he actually had some big plays. I've been saying this. If you haven't been paying attention, I think Seattle's going to win that division. I really do, and I'm not taking anything away from San Francisco. It's going to be tough because one of those teams is going to be – oh, man. one of those teams in the NFC West could be 13-3, 12-4, and be a wild card team. Hey, Chargers finished 12-4 last year and was a wild card team. That NFC West is brutal. I've been saying this almost all year. You have to get 10 wins minimum to get into the NFC playoffs. And hey, listen, guys, don't forget, I'm not even paying attention. But hopefully I got a ton of it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me one of these. Why not? Or give me a thumbs down. Tell me I suck. I don't care. But yeah, you're right, Golden Rooster. He did play, and he had some big plays. I was kind of surprised, to be perfectly honest. But Lockett, I don't know what was wrong, but he was out. DK Metcalf had some plays. It's funny because Chiefs Kingdom is really high on the draft. We could have got DK Metcalf. Can you imagine DK Metcalf on the Chiefs? I still am mad about that. I thought it was a botched draft. We could have got DK Metcalf, and we didn't. I'm glad you brought this up because Chiefs fans are. By the way, this is where your Lions fan is, and I know you didn't do great. I'm not big into fantasy, but I will help you win your fantasy lineup. One Pride 40, I will help you. Here's the thing, though, with Nick Chubb playing the way he does, if I was in a fantasy league and I could get Kareem Hunt, I would, because Nick Chubb, they use him a lot, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Remember, he tore his ACL in college. That, to me, says that the guy has injury issues. So I would pick up Kareem Hunt because he's one play away from being your starter, and if he plays as a starter, he's a top 10 guy easy. So yeah, Kareem Hunt's an excellent pickup for fantasy. McGrath fishing, you nailed the reason why the Chiefs lost this game, and it was special teams. A lot of people are blaming Andy Reid. It's not Andy Reid. Okay, 3rd and 2, people are mad they didn't run the ball. Okay, Shady McCoy didn't play. Damian Williams had a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. Pat Mahomes, who wasn't 100%. By the way, Pat Mahomes, if healthy, runs for the first down, game over. But Pat Mahomes, even though he wasn't 100% healthy, he had good numbers. Threw for 446. If you look at his fantasy, you're going to say he's 100%, but he's not. Here's the thing. Dave Toub is one of the best special teams coaches in football. For those of you who don't know his history, he was with the Bears when Devin Hester was returning a kickoff for a touchdown almost every other week. When Andy Reid first came to Kansas City, the first guy he hired was Dave Toub. He got him away from Chicago. They paid him an arm and a leg. Dave Toub, except for last year, was interviewed to be an NFL head coach. That's rare for a special teams coach. Last year, I didn't hear that. But 2 years ago, Denver interviewed him. And this is a guy who I thought would be an NFL head coach sooner or later. But the miscommunication with the snap, that I've never seen that happen. This is the first time that the Chiefs lost the game due to special teams. Kansas City Chiefs special teams are one of the best units in football, and we ended up losing this game on special teams. All right, that 3rd and 2 play, the tight end screen, that's an Andy Reid staple. Screen game, you're putting here. Let me ask you this here: how many people would have been mad if they ran the ball on 3rd and 2 and got stuffed? Can you realize how many idiot Chiefs said, "Well, you had Mahomes, you should have thrown the ball. You had Mahomes." No, yeah. So, it's kind of cool. Packers and Lions fans getting along, man, and that's so you trash talk each other, but we're all on the same team here. Listen. I don't do fantasy football. I'm retired from fantasy football, but I will help you win your fantasy league. The only thing I got to tell you, the only thing is that you got to have some money. I had a buddy of mine, he's in a league, and he tried to tell me, oh, it's just for fun. What the hell is that? I mean, I don't care if it's $5. You got to have some cash. Don't, I'm going to tell you something, even if it's $5, but if you ask me a fantasy football question and you in a league and it's a freebie league, don't. No. Bad. You got to have that money, man. Come to this channel. If you want to talk fantasy, come here and let me make you guys some money. My boy Tim. Thanks for joining the show, Tim. We do. And if you watch my video, top 5 things I liked about the Kansas City Chiefs, I liked Carlos Hyde because I thought he was going to be real instrumental in the 4-minute offense. But we drafted this kid in the 6th round. In preseason, he flashed. We used him, I think, 1 or 2 plays, and he just. You have to understand the Andy Reid offense is so complex. It's so complicated. It's really hard for a rookie to pick up. But Thompson, Darwin Thompson, next year he could be a really big piece for the Kansas City Chiefs. But this year, I just don't think he really has a full grasp of the playbook. I would have liked Hunt. The whole situation between I kind of want to touch base with that because I saw the video and like you see a player you see a guy kicking a girl, but all right, let's just move on. Let's just move on. No, I gotcha. And I'm going to touch base on this. You're right. The only thing I'm going to disagree on is I've been saying this for a while. I think Seattle's going to win that division. I really think Seattle's going to end up winning the West. I think San Francisco's a great team, and this is going to be a fun game. I mean, I'm really excited about this, and I'm a Chiefs fan, but I am super pumped up about this game. And you're right. Green Bay's an excellent position to get a bye. And I'm going to say this. I haven't been too high on Green Bay. I don't think their defense is a top 10 defense. But do you want to play Green Bay in the playoffs with a healthy Aaron Rodgers? Because the defense, I think, is real middle of the pack. So I've been saying this for a while. I've been saying this for a while. I still got Russell Wilson is my MVP, but I could see it split between Wilson and Lamar Jackson. And I've been on record saying this, and I'm going to stick by it. I think that the Ravens are doing Lamar Jackson a disservice by having him run as much as he does. It's just going to shorten his life. Look, his backup's Robert Griffin. Robert Griffin did the same thing. All right, Robert Griffin the third did the same thing like 7 years ago. And they're really doing him a disservice. He could have 1 year where he could do some great things, but they need to get him where he's not throwing the ball, not running the ball. I'm going to touch base on this. I agree with you here, and I agree with you here. The defense is legit. I like Wilson better than Garoppolo. I like Pete Carroll better than Shanahan for right now. I think it's a great rivalry. So, and then here's the thing with Green Bay: they don't need a great defense. They just need a good defense because you got Aaron Rodgers. So you don't need to have the 85 Bears. All right. You just have to have a defense that plays pretty good. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Alexander is playing really good ball. I like the secondary. You're getting pressure on the quarterback. Bottom line with the Packers is that when you have a guy like Rodgers and you're operating on all cylinders, all you got to do is get some sacks and get a few turnovers. You don't need to shut people out. All right, that first game of the season where they won 10-3, you don't need to do that. And I was kind of worried. I was like, oh God, Packers fans think they got the 85 defense. You don't. You got a good defense. You got a good defense, and that's all you need. And I'm glad you agree with me, man. He did, but he threw the ball. He had some good numbers passing. But the thing is, with Lamar Jackson, he was 15 out of 17, and he had like 9 carries for 80 yards, and he had this great Michael Vick-like run. They need to have him more of a passer, especially in a blowout. Get rid of the ball, throw the ball out of bounds, don't take the hits. Now, I understand he had to hit run. He got in the end zone, didn't get hit, had that awesome play that's on ESPN. It doesn't work. Not for long term. Remember 4 years ago, Cam Newton was MVP? Does anybody remember that? It was 4 years ago. Maybe it was 5. Cam Newton was MVP, 15-1 Panthers. Cam Newton's unstoppable. Then they scored 10 points in the Super Bowl. Next year they win 6 games. It doesn't work long term. It really doesn't work long term. So I'm just telling you this right now. But man, some great comments in here. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. You know, whatever. If you don't think I'm doing a good job, I want to know. Hey, what can I do better? Kind of break down action for week number 9 here. I didn't have a chance to do like a full outline for each game like I normally do. I had a lot of stuff that I had to get done. I also wanted to watch the college football show right before I came on, but I got to watch most of these games. I will admit that once the Chiefs lost, I was very upset. And here's some things that I got to deal with here. If some of you got on late here, we got idiots here with like, you know, with Chiefs fans. If you see this here, time for Reed to go. I mean, Belichick, if you notice, he can't spell Belichick right. So, I mean, I've been this is what I'm dealing with here, man. I would tell you more, but there was this article that came out where the guy spent a lot of time, had a bell graph trying to explain why you go for it on 4th down. And I tried explaining that you're looking at the wrong thing because you're not going to have 2 messed up field goals in a game. It was so frustrating. I wish that's one thing about Twitter. The percentage of 2 missed field goals versus going for it on 4th down, the percentage of missing 2 field goals. And here's the thing, the Chiefs go up by 8. I know Tennessee went down there and scored, but it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. Derek Brown. I'm drawing a blank, man. Derek Brown. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, One Pride 40, man. I don't watch as much college football as I watch pro ball, but I watched more this year. Let me take a look here. Oh, okay. I did watch him a little bit. I actually like the guy, but I know he got injured. And I've said this before. Wait till the combine and wait how he does in positional drills. I'm not doing any mock drafts until the combine, but after the combine, I'm going to do the same thing I did last year. If you watch, I broke down all 32 teams. I did 32 videos, and then I went back and did some more videos after free agency kind of took place. But basically, I'm going to do multiple mock drafts. I'm going to do a mock draft for every single team. I'm going to do a separate video. let me tell you something, and I don't be surprised if I hate to say this, but Chris Jones is a guy that I think could be a free agent. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to pay him, and he's a wrecking ball, and he's a guy that would be perfect for what Detroit wants to do because he played 3-4 end and he can play tackle. And the one thing about the Lions is that they like versatile players. They don't really have a set 3-4 or 4-3. They want versatile, tough, disruptive players, and that's a guy Chris Jones is. And he's a guy that I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to pay. I think that Chris Jones going to Detroit could really happen. So, but yeah, I do agree with you. You need a disruptive player in your defensive line. But it'll be really interesting to see what the Lions do during the draft because Zach Moss, the running back out of Utah, I heard comparisons to Marshawn Lynch. How he does in the combine, because if he comes in over 220, runs around a 4.5, he's going to be a first-round pick. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions say, hey, look, we need a 3-down running back who's durable. We'll just pick one in the first round. I actually think that could happen. I really do. I really do. And I'm sad because I said this during the whole offseason. You didn't need to give Frank Clark $100 million. You didn't need to give $100 million to Frank Clark, but they did. Your best player is Chris Jones. Now he's unhappy. Some great comments in here, guys. Some great comments. I'm going to start breaking down the games here. And let's start off with Thursday night, Raiders in Oakland. This is my game in a week. I like the Chargers, but the Chargers' offensive line was just too much. There's just too many problems. And here's the thing about the Raiders. This is why you got fear the Raiders. That defensive line got a lot of pressure on Rivers with only 4 guys. That is a young defensive line. And Arden Key, he's out for the rest of the year. When he comes back, this Raiders defense is pretty damn good. This Raiders defense is pretty damn good. Their defensive coordinator, he was in Cincinnati for a long time. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But here's the thing. Paul Gunther, okay. If he takes a job as a head coach somewhere, then I could see some problems because Gruden's not a defensive guy. But if these two guys stay together for 2020, watch out for the Raiders. And I'll say this one, Pride 40. Sue is a bad man. He's a guy who probably deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know if he will be in the Hall of Fame. I think he's that good. That's my opinion. I think he's that good, but I know there's a lot of people. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I know that one of the things they hated about him is he'd show up to meetings late just because he could. But this guy's a damn good player. I think he should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think he's that good, but I don't think he'll make it. About the Chargers and Raiders with the Chiefs loss, the Chargers played 2 games against Kansas City. They still have a realistic chance to make the playoffs. I would have told you the Chargers were out after that game, but with the Chiefs losing, they're only 2 games back. There's a mathematical possibility because the Chargers haven't played Kansas City yet, and they're only 2 games back. So there you go. Monday night's a big game. Monday night's a big game for the Chiefs and the Chargers. So even though the Chargers, I would have told you they're out of playoff contention, they're actually still in it, but they gotta win. They gotta win this. They gotta win Monday against Kansas City. This game was a tough one. The Raiders, they started, I think it was 0-2. Now they're 5-4. Here's the thing about the Raiders. They lose Antonio Brown. They lose Brissett. And they just overcome it. They're winning games. Last year they lost a bunch of close games. This year they were winning a bunch of close games. Raiders are a team that I still don't think they make the playoffs, but they're a team to fear. I think in 2020 they're going to be very dangerous. Detroit at Chicago, man, one Pride 40, man. I did not have a chance to watch the film. Driscoll, I forget which college he goes to, but I remember he came out and I remember he ran like a 4.5. And there's talk about him maybe even switching to receiver. But this is a guy who I would have told you that Stafford's tougher than a 99-cent steak. But bottom line, here's a guy who's always been able to be. He plays every game. I think it was 140 games he missed. So Driscoll coming in. You tell me how did he play? I'm assuming 2013 didn't do enough. Both these teams are really looking at 2020. Trubisky, okay, well that answers my question. Trubisky I think is going to go into 2020 as a starter. He has to look better. I've said this many, many times, dumb down the offense. Don't use the whole playbook. Find about 5 or 6 plays, maybe 15 plays that he's really, really good at, that he really knows, and go from there. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Okay, it's a spine injury, and ooh. Well, you tell me, do you move on from Stafford? I don't think you do, but it'll be interesting to see what they do in 2020. But anyway, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Speaking of 2020, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't wait for 2020, and Lamar Jackson, an MVP candidate. I don't think you move on. I'm sorry. Let me. I'll get back to you in just a second here. But with Lamar Jackson, he's definitely a MVP candidate. I got Russell Wilson just by a hair. I still think you're doing a disservice by having him run the ball the way he does. So, all right. Here's thing one Pride 40. When you get rid of Stafford, let's say you get rookie quarterback, first pick. Let's just make this up. You lose. I don't know Stafford's contract situation, but I think he makes like 20 to 25 million a year. Paying quarterback $4 or $5 million instead of 20, 25 million, you can plug holes, and that's why you could do it. I don't think you should. I think you stick with Stafford, and then you go into 2020. I don't think you have as many holes as you think. So. I don't agree with this either, but it's interesting that you say that because they were trying to do that. I think he's your number one guy, but he could be a free agent after the year is up. So it'll be interesting to see what the Lions do. Buffalo at Cleveland. This was my push. I thought the Bills would win this game outright. This is, my buddy Tim asked, what do I feel about the Bills coming to Arrowhead for the playoffs? It could happen. I don't fear Buffalo, and this is why. This is a team with a good, not great defense, even though the Bills for a while were trying to say they had the best defense in football. That's not true, but that defense is really good. The thing is about the Bills' defense, it's young. It's young. The Bills are a guy the Bills are a team that's doing everything right for 2020. And I think they're going to get in the playoffs this year, but they're not a team that you're going to fear. They're definitely a contender. Cleveland, of course, they're a team for 2020. Let's skip Kansas City at Tennessee. I mean, we can talk about that for a while. And the answer is yes, because I don't know how much you've watched of Chris Jones, but this dude's this dude's solid. This guy, he's not quite Aaron Donald, but he's really close. He's about 6'5", 6'6", and last year he dropped like 25. Aaron Donald, except tall and thin, but he's almost as disruptive as Aaron Donald, not quite, but yeah, any team could use him. Atlanta at New Orleans. I think it's just a fluke game, but remember the Saints last year towards the end of the season, they didn't look as good. I wonder if Breeze is banged up. I had a hard time watching this game because I was so upset about the Chiefs. It was on my DVR. So That's pretty funny. One Pride 40. But the thing is that the Saints, I still think, are the best team in the NFC. I think it's just a fluke game, but it'll be interesting to watch them because if they struggle on offense, even though the defense is really good, it makes me wonder, hey, are they a team that's going to be able to go to the Super Bowl? But keep in mind, the last 2 years, I felt like they had the best team in football, and they haven't been able to get there. So the Battle of New York's, Daniel Jones ended up throwing for 308. I was going to say he won, but no, he didn't. I'm curious what both the Jets and the Giants do in the offseason because I think both coaches are on hot seat, especially Shermer, even though they went with the rookie quarterback. You can't have back-to-back 4-win seasons with the Giants. I just have a hard time believing that. So both these guys are on the hot seat. Arizona at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won 30-27. The thing is with this game that's interesting is I like Winston, and I think that they're going to build this team around Winston. But this is a guy going into this offseason. Is this a guy that do the Buccaneers or other NFL teams look at and say this is a franchise quarterback? I think the Buccaneers should, but I'm not sure they will. I'm really not sure they will. This is an interesting story. Arizona, they're playing a lot better than I thought. It'll be very interesting to see what they do in the offseason. I don't think the Kyler Murray experiment is going to work. I've said that many times. But he's played a lot better than I thought he would. Much, much better than I thought he would. Miami at Indianapolis, a Miami Dolphins win. I kept telling people the Dolphins were – I kept on telling people the Dolphins are going to win a game. Well, they won two. And the defense isn't bad. They have a ton of picks in the draft. I think that they're going to pick a quarterback. I've heard the rumors they're in love with Tua. I get it. I don't think it's a smart move to tank for anybody, but they've won a couple games. So this team keeps looking better and better and better. They're going to be the team to talk about in the 2020 draft, of course. Carolina at Green Bay, touched base on this earlier. Green Bay, was it McGrath Fishing? Man, by the way, thank you for joining the show. I don't know if you're there. You haven't made a comment in a while, but that's okay. I'm glad you joined. Thank you. I liked Carolina in this game, so I'm kind of mad I was wrong about that, but it happens. Excuse me. Wow. I just ate before I did this, so my stomach's a little gurgly here. Anyway, with this game, I don't know. I don't know if this is a statement game or not because I'm not 100% sold on Carolina yet. Carolina's a weird team. They're one team I can never really get a good gauge on. I think McCaffrey is an MVP candidate, but I would put him at a distant third right now between Wilson and Lamar Jackson. But they're a team that if they get in the playoffs, they have a good defense. They have a really good running back. I'm excited about what they're going to do. Are they going to take Kyle Allen and say, hey, he's your guy going forward, or are they going to draft somebody? Green Bay, they're in the position for a bye now. If the Saints lost, they could be in the running for the 1 seed. If they're the 1 or the 2 seed, that's dangerous. That's dangerous because you get healthy Aaron Rodgers in at least one game in Green Bay in the playoffs. That is very dangerous. So watch out. Rams at Pittsburgh. I warned people. I said take Pittsburgh. They were Pittsburgh in 4. Why not? And they end up winning. I think the money line was 130 or 135. So hopefully, if you listen to me, you took that. I like Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to give the Ravens a run for their money, even though they're technically 3 games because Baltimore already beat them. I still think that game, the last game of the season, could be for the AFC North. But the way Baltimore's been playing the last couple of weeks, that won't happen. Baltimore now looks like they're in running for a 1 seed. Pittsburgh, I think, can still catch up. There's still a lot of football left, but they do need a Ravens loss. Sunday night football, Minnesota at Dallas. I'll say a mild surprise. I know Dallas was favored. They played pretty well at home, but when I watch Dallas, I don't see a great team. The defense doesn't look great. The offense at time looks really good. I didn't know this even though I watched the game, but Prescott had 397. I think they need to run the ball more. Minnesota's defense has been traditionally pretty good. I heard some talk that they're upset about Jerry Jones giving the Minnesota. Oh God, I can't believe I forgot his name. He's one of my favorite coaches too. The Minnesota Vikings head coach. Oh God, I feel like a complete moron right now, man. I love the guy too. He's one of my favorite coaches, but I'm drawing a blank. He was in Dallas for a very long time, and Jerry Jones was very adamant that this is really going to drive me nuts. I am so sorry. I am just drawing a complete blank. Mike Zimmer. Okay. Man, I am so embarrassed about that. I couldn't believe. But anyway, Mike Zimmer was in Dallas for a long time, and Jerry Jones was very adamant that they should not have let him go because they had that whole Dave Campo thing, which was just god awful. But Mike Zimmer, excellent defensive mind, went to Cincinnati, had several good years in Cincinnati. I was really surprised because Jay Gruden got a job before Zimmer, which I was shocked at, but the Redskins saw something in him that they liked. But Zimmer's a good coach, and it didn't surprise me that Jerry Jones had some good things to say about him. Some people read into that a little more, but this has been going on for a while. He said this many times that he regretted letting Zimmer go. He thought he made a big mistake. Mike Zimmer's an excellent coach, whether you want to believe it or not. Let's see here. And then that chap lives here. Monday Night Football, Seattle at San Francisco. What a great game. I watched all 9 hours of it. It seemed to be 9 hours long. I've been saying this is the game I liked. I told you take Seattle to win, straight up. Take Seattle to win straight up. And by the way, whoops. If you're looking, take another. If you want a good game to take straight up, this is the one. Steelers, 3 points here. The over/under is 40. I would probably take the over on this. Plus 135. That's the number. That's what's called the money line. Because the Steelers are a 3-point dog. In order to, if you want them if you bet on them just to win, $100 would be 135. So I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. And before I went on the air, turns out to be there's a sports gambling casino in Iowa that's about 2.5 hours away. I'm halfway tempted to drive up there. I don't like online betting. I'm halfway tempted to drive up there and put some action down on the Steelers. I like the Steelers that much. I think this is a big, big game. I think this is a game that if you are into betting and you like to gamble, this would be a good one. Steelers money line. Forget the 3. Just take the money line. That's good. That's a good bet. All right, man, I'm gonna drink coffee here, and I'm gonna post this again. I've done this several times. I'm just so frustrated. I had to cross the name out here, and it's not an Andy Reid fault, okay? And then there was this idiot on Twitter, and I wasted several minutes of my life reading about how the Chiefs should have went for it on 4th down instead of kicking a field goal. No! Oh God. Oh man. I seriously, I am. Chiefs fans are hurting my intelligence right now because bottom line, the Chiefs lost the game due to two fluky special teams mistakes. It was not an Andy Reid fault. The third and two tight end screen, what are you going to do? You don't really have a reliable running back. You gave up a touchdown because your running back put the ball on the ground. Yeah, Pat Mahomes. Thank you, One Pride 40. Listen, there's about 25 other teams in the NFL that would trade their head coach for Andy Reid, maybe even more, but at least 25. And Chiefs fans are just blasting Andy Reid left and right, saying he did something wrong. No. And I don't think so, man. I really don't. But I'm finding out more and more that there's dumb fans everywhere you go. But the Chiefs fans, because I'm here, are just giving me a headache. I mean, this guy had like a bell. This is so stupid because it was a bell chart, and he put so much effort into seeing this. It's like he didn't see the forest for the trees. All right, he didn't see the forest from the trees. It's an old expression, but man, I'm just telling you, Chiefs fans just wear me out. It's frustrating because I'm sitting here and I want to enjoy Mahomes, and then there's people are talking about, well, the defense played harder under Matt Moore, so they're more complete. Exactly. But there was an argument to replace Mahomes with Matt Moore, and then there's Chiefs fans that were serious about it. Once Moore beat, and it's like, are you serious? You know what the funny thing is about Mahomes is that he had a great game and he wasn't 100%. But you got a great coach like Andy Reid. You got Patrick Mahomes. It was a fluky thing. So just I don't know, man. I don't know, and I have a hard time believing this. But no, Chiefs fans really want to get rid of Andy Reid. It hurts my brain. So I mean, listen, hey guys, I'm going to kind of wrap this up here. It's a little shorter. Just have it about an hour. Normally I'd go like an hour and a half or something, but I'm just going to wrap this up short here. Again, I want to point this out. I'm going to do, I have another video that I'm going to do with my game of the week. All right. If you're a gambler, I love this game. I might drive. I was doing some research and I tried calling right before I got on the air. Anyway, I tried calling. I couldn't get a hold of anybody, but it's about 2.5 hours away. I might go there tomorrow. If I do, I'll make a quick video when I'm up there. All right. So listen, if you're a subscriber to Andrew's Football, you already know you're one of the greatest people on planet Earth. All your wildest dreams are going to come true. But if you're new to my channel and you haven't already, see this button? See it? See it? See it? Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. I'll see you Friday.